Welcome back, everyone. Methyl ethyl ketone there, almost in the center of your screen, otherwise known as MEK. This works very well. It's very slow, as you can see right up there. It says plastic weld, right? Plastic weld. Allow overnight to cure. Methyl ethyl ketone. So what I do when I want to make custom parts is I use MEK. Cut down a bunch of plastic bits. Now in this particular case it happens to be a parts tree. If you've ever built a model car or some RC cars, you will find your parts on a parts tree similar to what you see right here. I just simply cut them down into little tiny pieces with a pair of dikes. I know that's probably an offensive word, but that's what we call them, or at least that's what I grew up calling them. Now they are called side cutters because we don't want to offend anybody, evidently. Right, we don't want to call a homosexual. We want to call them brave. So I cut up the parts tree into little tiny bits. And then I just put them in a bag. Right? They're useful. We're recycling. So here, what I want to do with this Vega is make this rear spoiler bigger. Right? I want to make it bigger. I want to make it more modern. That is the spoiler that was supplied with this model kit. So I want to make it bigger. So I've taken the parts tree that was in white, I cut it up into small pieces, I poured some used MEK into a container, and I'm letting it chemically melt down. And once I'm satisfied with the texture and the feel of what's going on in here, I'm gonna bond it there, or I made this little box here, basically a piece of wood with some aluminum tape and then some more blue tape, and then I just pour it in here and smooth it out, and I'll cut it and shape it to the size that I need. If I'm lucky, I will have enough for a rear spoiler and a front chin splitter. The front chin splitter is not as important to me visually as the rear. I mean, you almost don't see the front one anyway. So I think I might go with this option, but depending on the texture of what this ends up being, what it feels like on my fingers, I might try and form it around that rear spoiler right there. That way I can get a nice form, a nice negative image, if you will, something to bond to, because this I did already glue to there. So after you cut up your pellets and you soak them in MEK for a long period of time, let's see if I can do this one-handed without that thing going anywhere. This stuff stinks. Hold on, let me pause the camera for a second. So now we can see that we got a nice soft mixture. Now this, what I'm concerned about is this might actually melt the plastic on there, but maybe not. I don't know. But we can see that it is formable, right? That easily squishes it in without too much effort. It did melt the plastic like it's supposed to. It takes a while. I can't give you a time because I don't set a stopwatch to it. So this is just a bottom of a beer can. You can use a soda can, whatever it is you want. Put your pellets in there. Pour some MEK in the top. Put a cover over it so that way the vapors don't escape too easily. Then just come back and refill it with MEK. Maybe stir it around a little bit till you get a nice... I'm not sure if that's going to work for me. It might work, but I don't know. You'll have to use your better judgment. I could technically lay this out on a piece of like wax paper and roll it out to a flatter piece, and that would probably work for what I need. If we go here to my brake duct on my Pagani Zonda R, I just simply laid a piece of tape on there and here, and I just simply smoothed it in, because this area right here is all missing. Right, that area right in there is all missing. So I just used a little screwdriver and then I just kind of smeared some on the inside. I wasn't sure how much I needed, but I just kind of smeared it in there like so. Right, up and down, till I thought it was right. And then let it dry for 24 hours at minimum. Now, how strong of a bond that's going to create between this piece and this piece, I have no idea. But this is more, I would say, an actual visual piece, right? I have no idea what the strength is of this, because this is Lexan, this is some sort of hard plastic, and this is ABS. I'm not sure if there's going to be any kind of chemical, mechanical bond that's actually going on right there, but it does work nicely to fill your holes, right? So, but in order to get that, you're going to want this to be probably a little more runny, more like a pudding type texture. So I'm going to let this sit a little bit longer with some more MEK, then I'm going to apply it to the Vega.